links, everything inside. There's a lot of rough road and a lot of bushes along thorns out here. We're going to start out our trip though, currently exploring the Little Ituri Forest, and sometimes the animals around here do have good camouflage, but I see the animal here on the right, brown body with a black and white stripes, that's an okapi. Okapi certainly look like they could be related to zebra, but they're actually the only living relative of giraffe. Just like a giraffe, they do have a pretty long tongue. It is a very useful tool for the animal. Beautiful bird here to the right as well, that's a saddle-billed stork. Named for that yellow marking on its bill, it does look exactly like a saddle. That bird stands around 5 feet tall and actually has a wingspan of around 9 feet long. Looks like that we're coming up to a nice sized waterhole, and oh my goodness. Up on this hillside here to the left, I do see a beautiful black rhino. Black rhinos are critically endangered, friends. There's less than 5,000 in the entire world. That is the entire world, not just here in the wild. That includes zoological facilities and reserves just like this. Now, my friends, black rhinos are so endangered because of us, humans. Humans, they have continuously poached them for the horns that they're known for. Many cultures do believe those horns have medicinal value. They do not, though. They're actually made of a material called keratin. It's the same exact material as our hair and fingernails. So there really is no medical benefit. It's just a very sad reason why this animal is so endangered. Now, specifically black rhinos, they do weigh around 3,000 pounds. They also have 2 horns on their face. Some rhinos only have 1 horn, and surprisingly enough, that's actually what they're named after. Rhinoceros is a Greek word meaning nose horn.
We cannot go.
Beautiful reddish-brown animal up here. This is a forest antelope called the bongo. Bongos actually do have a nickname, ghost of the forest. That's because they're generally very reclusive and very well hidden. Both males and females, they actually do grow horns. They're going to lean back towards their body. That way they can actually maneuver through the brush a lot more quietly as well. And way on the top of the hillside, those animals that are a little bit more tan, those are greater kudu, second tallest antelope species. They do stand around 5 feet tall at the shoulder. And those particular kudu are female, you can tell because they do not have horns. Males, however, they would. You know what, though, I have an idea. Anyone here actually a fan of hippo? Maybe some of us are. Alright, we're gonna see if we can try to find some. We're gonna head this way towards the Safi River. Lots of water in the Safi, usually a good place to try to find some hippo. They can be a little tricky to find though, so you're gonna want to look for something that looks like a giant rock in the water, especially if it looks like that giant rock is moving or blowing bubbles. Safe to assume you're looking at a hippo at that point. Well, not a rock, so we'll go ahead and start cruising along here, see exactly what we might find. The Safi is very, very long, so we'll keep following the river since I don't see anything quite yet. Now, my friends, if you were to come back and explore the Safi in the evening or nighttime, there's a chance that you may be able to find hippo on land. They're nocturnal. Once the sun does go down, that's when they come out of the water and typically forage for food. And you know what? I definitely do see some down here. I also see some pink-backed pelicans here on this island to the left, though. They may look a little gray right now, but during mating season, they'll actually form a pink color on their backs. And friends, if I could just have everyone stay on their bottoms for me all the way down there. Thank you so much, friends. Now, pink-backed pelicans, they're actually one of the smallest pelican species, even though they still have a wingspan around 8 feet long. So even though they're small, they're not all that small. And they do stay together in colonies as well, which is why there are so many of them in the area. Now, I know I saw a hippo here. Oh, I don't know if the angle's gonna be good to see. I kind of see its back. I'll go slow here. It looks like we're just gonna... And friends, once again, if I can have everyone please sit down. Sit down for me, friends, once again. Thank you so much. We'll head this way. Actually, it looks like there's some hippo over by these waterfalls, although they are pretty submerged right now. Oh, you know what? Actually looks like there's lots of Nile crocodile here to the left. Largest crocodilian species here in Africa. They're anywhere from 16 to 20 feet in length. Nile crocodile, they actually make amazing parents. They're egg layers, and when the time comes, they'll take those eggs in their mouth, slowly and gently roll them around. That way those little hatchlings have a much easier time of getting out of those eggs. It essentially allows them to start life out on the right foot. Now, friends, as we do continue this way, you may start noticing some changes in the plant life around here. Gonna thin out, kind of look a little different, and that's because we're headed for a different ecosystem, the savannah. That's where a lot of those famous animals are gonna call themselves home, so fingers crossed we find plenty of them. Maybe like lion, zebra, giraffe. Ooh, interesting tree coming up here on the right, though. This is a baobab. They look like it's growing upside down, but it is in fact growing right side up. It's leafless 9 months out of the year. It's a way to preserve water. Pretty crucial adaptation to have since it doesn't typically rain on the savannah all that often. Now you may want to get those cameras ready, because in just a few moments we're actually going to be at my personal favorite view of the entire savannah, just because it is a bird's eye view. A lot of plants and animals, they definitely do call this savannah home, so we'll go ahead and start slowly making our way down this hill, which looks like it's a good idea since I'm already seeing some animals. Once we're at the bottom of this hill, you'll want to look towards the right. I do see some springbok in the area. Those are those very small animals, tan back with a white belly. Springbok are the smallest antelope species you'll find here on the reserve. They only stand around 2 to 3 feet tall. At times, they'll also do an incredibly interesting behavior called perunking. It just means they're going to leap continuously in the air with their legs straight and their backs arched. Looks like though we're in luck because there's also some Maasai giraffe in the area. You can tell specifically they're Maasai because their spots are just a little bit more messy and irregular in appearance. Unlike other giraffe that may have a more square-shaped or defined type of marking. Tallest land mammals in the world, they're going to stand anywhere from 18 to 20 feet tall. Although males typically do stand taller than females. Is there anything specifically though anybody here has ever wanted to know about giraffe? They've never had a chance to ask?
Maybe gonna get Riku.
Hey, what's up?
Is giraffes the tallest land animal?
You got one over there
Yes,
too.
giraffes, they are the tallest land mammals.
Here.
Definitely no denying that. They can look clear over our truck. That's for sure. Surprisingly though, as tall as they are, there's actually only 7 bones in their neck.
Is that a goat?
No, there's no goats. Those are springbok. Oh, actually, one of the tallest antelope species is coming up here on the right. This is a Patterson Zealand. This one specifically is a mature male. You can tell because he has more of a gray tan color. This animal specifically stands around 6 feet tall at the shoulder, weighs around 2,000 pounds, and has so much power in his muscles. He can leap at least 6 feet in the air from a complete standstill.
It's his booty.
Lots and lots of power. Friends, once again, if I can everyone please sit down. Thank you so much, friends. I'll see if we can try to get some better views of some of these giraffe around here. It seems like there's quite a few. Oh my goodness. Actually, it looks like there's also some wild dogs here on the left. These are African wild dogs. Wild dogs are an extremely successful pack hunter. They're going to chase and chase and chase their prey until their prey does completely collapse from exhaustion. How many of you here, my friends, think that lions are really good hunters? You think lions are like the best hunters? Yeah?
I agree.
You'd be wrong. African wild dogs have an 80% success rate. Guess what lions have?
What?
10.
Look at the baby one right here.
Wild dogs are very good at what they do.
See the little baby one?
Beautiful view of this Maasai giraffe here.
Tall for a baby.
Now I heard someone actually say it. Who just said that they're too tall for a baby?
Me.
You, my friend, are intelligent. That is a juvenile, so that's not a baby. Lots of people do think when they see something smaller, automatically assume it's a baby. Not necessarily the case. In the human world, we would typically call that animal a tween or teenager, but in the animal world, that giraffe that we did just pass is a juvenile, so not quite fully grown, but not a baby either. When a baby is born, though, it is still 6 feet tall, so babies are still pretty tall, but not as tall as that little one that was back there. We'll go ahead and take a peek at this one, though, actually. This one's a juvenile, too, so a couple juveniles in the area. Pretty exciting stuff. Now, something really surprising about giraffe that always is just amazing to me. They only sleep 30 minutes a day. That's it. That's not even at once, it's only 5 minutes at a time. Instead, giraffes do spend most of their time eating from the undersides of trees. That is what they're well adapted to do. Not only do they have their eye, they actually have an 18-inch long prehensile tongue. It's a bluish-black in color, and that is a way to help prevent sunburn. Pretty important if they're going to be eating from the undersides of the trees most of the time. Are there any other questions that anybody did have? Yeah, what's up?
Is it true that one male giraffe?
Wait, what was that? What was that one?
Is it true that one male giraffe can take a whole pack of lions?
Can take a whole pack of lions, you know? I don't see why not. Giraffes have a really strong kick, so I mean, lions would kind of be silly to go for a giraffe unless the giraffe is drinking water. That's the only time they're really vulnerable. But giraffes are very strong, so I could definitely see where a giraffe could easily defend itself against a pack of lions. Oh, looks like actually some more animals coming up here on the right. A couple different species. There's some with these massive white horns. These are Ankole cattle, only domesticated animal on the reserve. Those horns they have are really not as heavy as you would expect, though. Honeycombed inside. Kind of think of these horns like a giant air conditioning unit. Blood flows through, cools off, and then when it returns to the body, Helps the animal cool down as well. Also, those gray animals back there, those are white-bearded wildebeest. They're actually pretty famous for going through one of the longest and largest migrations. Around 1.5 million, they'll travel anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles, and they are extremely well adapted for those migrations. They actually can go up 5 days without a single drop of water. I can barely go up to like 20 minutes, but you know, pretty amazing that they can. Oh, there's definitely no denying that all of these animals we saw. Giraffes are the tallest. You know they're not, though? Not the largest. Largest land mammals, those are actually African elephants, and I think it'd be pretty cool to say we saw the tallest and the largest, so I'm gonna start making my way here towards elephant country. Now, as we do make our way, we're actually gonna be passing these rocks here to the left, and the area to the left is an area that's been nicknamed Monkey Point. Supposedly, a troop of mandrills has lived here for a long while. Mandrills are actually the largest monkeys on the planet. You can tell that they're a monkey because they do have a tail, while apes do not have tails. Mandrills are also pretty well known for being a very colorful monkey species. They do have lots of bright blue and red on their face. Dominant males will also have that color on their backside. At times, the mandrills can be a little bit more of a reclusive species, so I'm trying to look for any signs of movement around here, although looks like they're definitely being pretty reclusive. Not seeing any elephants yet either, so I'm going to keep heading towards an area I know about that usually does attract them. Now, once fully grown, African elephants, they're actually going to weigh at least 11,000 pounds. Unfortunately, though, poachers, they still poach them for their ivory tusks, so their size has not protected them. The worst part about it is there's actually no reason for poachers to continuously kill elephants. The only thing it benefits is actually their greed. And it's so serious right now and so severe that if poaching doesn't stop, it's completely possible elephants could go extinct in our lifetime. This is no longer generations from now. This is very, very near in the future, so it needs to stop. Well, friends, to that area that I was talking about, we're just going to be crossing this bridge here. Once we cross this bridge, we're going to head for some red clay pits. It's that clay that actually does generally attract those elephants. They can use the clay to add a lot of nutrients into their diet that they might not necessarily get from the plants they eat. Kind of similar to how some of us may take a multivitamin every single day, or vitamins in general kind of fill in those gaps our own diet might not necessarily give us. Now, when we do get to the red clay pits, a very good sign that elephants have been around recently are actually the tusk marks they leave behind. So as they eat the red clay, their tusks touch it. So we're going to want to look for basically, well, a lot of straight lines. And you know what, friends? I definitely do see quite a few fresh tusk marks. Ooh, not only on the left, but on the right side here, too. So pretty good sign. It's just a matter of seeing if we can find the elephants that made those marks. I'm going to keep traveling this way, see if we can try to get a better view of the entire area, see if that maybe leads us to some luck, and I'll definitely talk more about them.
There they are.
Right, you can only see a big butt. Oh no, I can't. There.
I'll go ahead and get around because I do see quite a few more up here. So pretty exciting stuff. We did find a herd. Now, herds of elephants are just a little bit different than some of the other herds we've seen, and that's because they're a matriarchal society. Means females are in charge. Usually it is the oldest, most experienced one that will lead the herd. She's called the matriarch. Males are actually generally solitary. At around 13 to 15 years, they leave the herd, or if the herd kicks them out, it's kind of one way or the other. Now, the reason for that time frame is elephants, they do have the second longest childhood of any mammal. We as humans, we actually do have the longest. And when an elephant is pregnant, her pregnancy is generally going to last around 22 months. And once they do give birth, that baby, it's going to be in the hundreds of pounds, so they definitely do have some pretty big babies. Oh yeah, you have a question, my friend? What's up?
How heavy could they weigh?
How heavy can they weigh?
Yeah, what's the heaviest?
I don't know of the heaviest one they've ever weighed total in history ever, but I know elephants anywhere from 11,000, 16,000. They're in the tons. They're big. Big animals. I just don't know what the heaviest one ever recorded was. That one I'm not sure. But something really cool about African elephants, though, that I definitely do love to point out, are actually their ears. That's because African elephant ears are actually in the same exact shape as Africa. Probably one of the coolest coincidences I think you'll find in Mother Nature. Actually, it looks like, though, different type of beautiful animal here on the left. These are greater flamingo. When they hatch, they do initially start out their lives as a gray color. They'll get those colors because of their diet. It contains a mineral responsible for the pink feather. And when you see a group of flamingo like these, you can actually say you're looking at a flamboyance. Might actually be one of my favorite group names. And as beautiful as this flamboyance is, we still do have a lot of area left to explore. Hoping that we're going to be able to find a lot more animals, including some more endangered species. We have had some awesome luck so far, so I'm definitely hoping that luck does continue in our favor. Are there any other questions, though, that I may have missed? All right, just making sure. Let's see, what's this way? Well, I am starting to see some mud wallows, and usually in areas with mud